Hi there everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with the last deck tech of this week. Tomorrow's video is going to be a replay of the fantastic stream we had last Sunday, so please feel free to watch that. It's long, it's about nearly 4 hours long, but there's some really great games it's worth watching, and I'll make sure this week I get the game breakdown put in the video description at some stage. But for today's deck, Bristling Bill Spine Sower, 1 and a green for a 2/2 plant druid. Has landfall, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under our control, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on a target creature, and you can play 3 and 2 green to double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. This card is very traditional for me for green. Green has a lot of landfall things that do +1/+1 counters, and you know it's green, it's landfall, so big creature deck. But I've gone a little bit rogue on it, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit for something for a change. But for now, here's the deck tech, and if you can hit the subscribe button down below, I'm sitting at 401 subscribers here on the YouTube channel, so I'm getting near to my target of 500. So if you can hit the subscribe button, I really appreciate it. But this is what today's deck looks like. Right, here we go. I still like doing my decks this way. If you don't like it, you can let me know in the comments if you want me to do it the old way, but I really enjoy doing it this way, so we're going to carry on with this for a little while, just as a side thing. Anyway, Bristling Bill, we want to hit lands, but we need to make sure we ramp out, but we've got some fun cards in the deck that really do take advantage of the +1/+1 counters. So, bit of ramp to Arbor Elf and Elvish Mystic to start with, and then the first one of the cards I want to take advantage of is, Feral Hydra. +1/+1 counters, here we go. There's going to be a lot of Hydras coming out in this deck, trust me. Fine Order Elves is here for a bit more ramp in the early game. And then the first of the new cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction that isn't Bristling Bill is the Gold Vein Hydra. The difference between what we get now to what we used to get is humongous. Vigilance, Trample and Haste comes in with X +1/+1 counters on it, and when it dies we get a number of treasure tokens tapped equal to its power. Hydras have come a long way since Hydras first start being a thing in MTGO. So anyway, that's the first one of the Hydras. Second one, the Hungering Hydra, comes in with all the +1/+1 counters, and I'm not going to say much about them because we all know they do this. Can't be blocked by more than one, and whenever damage is dealt to it, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Landwar Elves helps with the ramp. Protean Hydra, if damage will be dealt to it, remove that many +1/+1 counters from it, and whenever a +1/+1 counter is removed from it, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it at the beginning of the end step. So if you've got a 4/4 and it takes 2 damage, you take 2 counters off, but then you get to put 4 back on. Yeah. Ren's Run Hydra has Reinforce if we need it, and Reach. And Genesis Hydra lets us go and find something and play it with a non-land permanent with converted mana cost X or less among them onto the battlefield. Now, obviously, you're not going to hit your Hydras, and you get to shove everything, the rest into your library, which is lovely. So, yeah, ways around things. Hooded Hydra, when it dies, we get all the snake tokens. Metallic Mimic, make sure all our Hydras come in with an extra +1/+1. And then we've got Primordial Hydra to double the +1/+1 counts in our upkeep, and has Trample if we have 10 or more. Steelbane lets us just blow up artifacts and enchantments when we take counters off. Vastwood Hydra, when it dies, you distribute all the +1/+1 counters. Voracious Hydra fights something when it comes in, or comes in with double the number of +1/+1 counters. Azusa, Lost But Seeking, lets us drop extra lands. Kami of the Whispered Hopes just adds an extra +1/+1 counter on things, and then we get to do lots and lots of mana pumping, hopefully. Lifeblood Hydra comes in with X +1/+1 counters. When it dies, you draw life and you gain life and draw cards equal to its power. Yeah, didn't know this one existed until I was looking for new Hydras, and that's gone in. Managorger Hydra is a 1/1 and then just gets bigger as people cast spells. Nissa Vastwood Seer is here just to go and get some land search on the go. Stump Squall Hydra, enter the battlefield, distribute X +1/+1 counters among it and any number of commanders. Going to be interesting. Khazor Ruthless Stalker, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, get a +1/+1 counter on it. Oracle of Muldai helps us do the extra land ramping side of it. Rampant Rejuvenator is also a Hydra, but lets us do the land search when it dies. And this is key. It's basic lands, and I'll get to why in a minute. Tributary Instructor, it's got Mentor, but I've put it in because most of our creatures will have +1/+1 counters on them, and so we might as well get some card draw when they die. Defiler of Vigor is one of the few other non-Hydra creatures in the deck, but permanent spells get a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. Hero's Bane is another Hydra, enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1s on it, and then you can pay 4 to put a whole load more on it, so let's go with that. Iron-Scale Hydra. Deal combat damage to Iron-Scale Hydra, prevent it, and put a +1/+1 counter on it. Colonian Hydra enters with 4, attacks you double. Yeah. Whenever it attacks, double the number of +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. Your Hydras get big very quickly with this attacking in play. Thought we might as well have the Lord of the Hydras here as well, just to cut the casting costs down a little bit, and then it gets a bit of fighting when we get targeted. Oran Reef Hydra is another landfall trigger, +1/+1 counter on it, and then 2 if it's a forest. And Whip Tongue Hydra from one of the treasure chests. I don't know what set this was in originally, so if you know, let me know in the comments. Destroy all creatures with flying and put a +1/+1 counter on the Whip Tongue Hydra for each creature destroyed this way. Nissa just helps us out with our mana, so double up on our forests. Not really worried about the plus and the -8, but yeah, if we get there, we get there. And then we have a whole load of ramp spells. Collective Voyage, Glimpse the Core, Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits, Cultivate, Far Wanderings, Harvest Season, Kodoma's Reach, Nissa's Pilgrimage, Ranger's Path, Sky Shroud Claim. Jaheira's Respite is just one I will point out, where we can prevent all the damage by casting as an instant and getting some basic land cards for all those creatures attacking us. And Verdant Confluence, plus return permanents and search for basic lands is what's going to happen. Artifact wise, nothing too fancy. Elixir of Immortality, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Emerald Medallion for some ramp, Howling Mind, Moss Diamond is a bit more ramp, and Thontomythos. Howling Mind and the Thontomythos is so we can draw some more cards so we can keep creatures coming on the board. Enchantments, Exploration, Hardened Scales, Utopia Sprawl, Durable Handicraft. I'm not going into these because I think you've seen them all before by now. Branching Evolution just doubles the +1/+1 counter, so that's really good with this deck. Court of Garenbrig, as long as we're the Monarch, we get to double the +1/+1 counters on each creature we control, otherwise we just get to distribute 2. Rites of Flourishing for card draw and extra land drops. Tribute to the World Tree. Yeah, going to be drawing cards with this most of the time, and then the elves will get a little bit bigger. Journey to the Lost City is just a fun one from Baldur's Gate. I like having a bit of randomization in here, and this one's not bad. Yes, if it gets destroyed, it's annoying, but hey, it's still randomization, so it's always going to be fun. And Virtue of Strength. Return target creature card or land card from your graveyard to your hand, and if you tap a basic land for mana, it produces 3 times that much instead. The land-wise is really, really straightforward for this deck. It is just 34 forests. You can't beat it. It's just pure forests. You don't need anything else in this deck because it is just so much fun. I did a little bit of play testing with it, and it just goes so quickly. People do need to have things like Damnation, Wrath of God, Farewell, etc. to deal with it, because otherwise you will just overrun them with the amount of Hydras you have coming in. Which just makes this deck so much fun to play with, especially with Gulfvein Hydra. That's just stupid. And that's it. It's a really short deck tech to finish off the deck techs for this week with. Please, if you can, and you've got any ideas of things I've missed out, let me know in the comments down below. This is just a fun deck. You could probably use it to teach people how to play Commander with. It's very straightforward. It's very good fun. And it just makes big creatures. And who doesn't like attacking with big creatures? I'm sure there is a way that I've missed of giving everything trample. I will think about it. If you can think of every way giving every creature trample, let me know. I think it's one of the gods that does it in pure green that I've missed out. But, you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. But for now, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit short, but it's good fun. And, yeah, keep your eyes out for the replay of the stream tomorrow. Take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week with some more decks. Bye.